Let me just start by saying how happy I am really to be able to join this discussion group with this eminent group of young people who I'm sure have a better understanding of what we are talking about than even myself. But talking about integration, it's important to note that, to my mind, is the most determinant factor for Africa to meet its political, social, economic aspirations that touch on issues of youth employment, migration, climate change, the pandemic, you name it. All these issues will be better handled within an integrated framework.
The simple thing is young Africans are trading online. They're shopping online. They're buying more things online. Tanzania is Kenya's neighbor. I am unable to ship something directly from Tanzania online because we have not enabled such markets. So even when we talk about opening markets, are we thinking digitally? Are we thinking of regional integration that actually is speaking to the everyday lives of young Africans? And I feel that we are not. And these are some of the challenges that institutions such as the African Union and even national organizations are facing. But the conversation is so technical, so far removed from our current reality that implementation is a challenge. Dr. Janneh has mentioned very articulately that this conversation has been taking place for years. But I wonder if the conversation has actually been updated to reflect what we need as young Africans today. Another thing we often tend to do is actually avoid the issues that young Africans are trying to put forward when it comes to regional integration. I've mentioned things to do with travel, buying things online, but another thing is working across borders. Is it easy for young Africans to get permits? For example, a Kenyan to work in South Africa, is it easy? Are we creating climates and environments where young Africans can thrive across borders? Or is it easier for young Africans to actually work in other continents? These are some of the things I'm hoping we begin having conversations around, the everyday reality of young Africans who are trying and striving to work and live across borders, but it is impossible because, one, of the costs, two, of the restrictive policies, but three, because the current climate is not conducive to their everyday lives. Remote working is taking place. We need to start rethinking and reimagining what regional integration means for and by, and what it means for young Africans and how it can be by young Africans.
There's no reason why we shouldn't have maybe 30 to 90-day visa-free travel to all countries in Africa, but we don't have it. Kenya, it's very easy to get an e-visa if you want to travel to Kenya. It's easy to move to Nairobi, or it's easy to travel to Kigali. But otherwise, it's extremely difficult to travel across Africa. And I find this that people my age who are like young people under 30 would rather just decide to take their holidays in Europe because they say, why should I have to queue for a visa to travel in my own continent? So I think in terms of regional integration, our leaders, political leaders, the African Union, they need to make sure that there's an easy way to move across the continent. Otherwise, the goal of regional integration is going to be defeated.
What is wrong with us as African countries that is not making us come together? Probably we have to look into our background. We have this verb that says, clean your backyard before you go out. Maybe there are things that we have to look at when we look at the integration in Africa. We still have instability in Africa. We still have security issues in Africa. And these are the things that maybe most advanced economies or other stable economies are fearing to integrate because they are fearing of the unknown. So it's better we talk to our leaders to try to make our environment or our countries conducive for regional integration, because we still see countries not wanting to lose their sovereignty. We still see countries fearing to integrate and open up their borders because we still fear our sisters and brothers. So I think it's high time we need to clean up our acts and let Africa be a conducive environment that is attractive to each and every one of us and a safer and conducive place for young people want to move through borders. Because when you talk of integration, it's not only the economic integration, like colleagues have said. You are talking about movement of people, you are talking about movement of capital, you are talking about movement of goods.
When I think of regional integration, the first thing that pops into my mind is the AfCFTA, which is a transformational agreement that's just been created. It's a huge milestone for Africa's journey to prosperity, and it's really poised to transform the continent's landscape by creating a single market for goods and services. But really what I think realizing the full potential of the AfCFTA depends on the development, promotion of policies and programs that provide inclusive measures that provide opportunities for disadvantaged groups, particularly women, youth, MSMEs. The majority of African economy operates in the informal sector. We need to bring the informal sector into the formal sector so they can take advantage of this agreement.
I think because I see it as one of the factors that has affected issues of integration in Africa. You see, I think we're moving from Malawi, let's say, to South Africa, for example, you would see that some of the products would be different in how you have to package them, in how you have to make them so that they can fit in that particular market. So much as a lot of the milestone has been registered in terms of infrastructure, in terms of policies, even at the high level, the AfCFTA that has been mentioned by Hanan just recently. I think we also have to pay attention to start having a conversation around issues of standardization, so that as we move forward, when I'm producing my things, let's say in Malawi, I should be able to fit those even within the other African countries without any problems, because I think the market is that broader.
One thing you should always bear in mind, as the chairman of our foundation says, if you cut up China into 54 individual states, China will not be where it is. If we integrate Africa, we'll be as powerful as China. So this is your goal. Move this agenda. The future of Africa, particularly and its young people, lies in promoting the integration agenda, challenging your leadership, strengthening our regional integration institutions.